Story opens with the Valthine sovereignty, a dominant galactic empire that has ruled for over 2,000 years through superior technology and tactical precision. The Valthine have never encountered a species capable of matching their military might. Their fleet operates on strict protocols, advanced energy weapons, and predictable warfare doctrines that have brought them victory across hundreds of star systems. Commander Varix of the Valthine warship Ascending Dawn leads a patrol squadron through the Outer Rim territories. His mission is routine border enforcement until his sensors detect an anomalous signature in a previously uncharted system. The signature does not match any known propulsion technology in Valthine databases. Against standard protocol, Varix decides to investigate, believing it might be a primitive civilization or perhaps smugglers using outdated technology. As the Valthine squadron approaches, they encounter a single human warship designated the Thunder's Edge. The vessel appears crude by Valthine standards, constructed from what their scans identify as relatively primitive alloys and using chemical propulsion systems. Varix is initially amused, assuming this will be a simple matter of issuing warnings or perhaps taking the vessel as a curiosity specimen. He attempts standard first contact protocols, demanding the human ship identify itself and submit to inspection. Captain Greg Hamilton of the Thunder's Edge responds to the transmission. His tone is professional but firm, explaining that the Thunder's Edge is on a peaceful exploration mission representing the Terran colonial fleet. He suggests both parties maintain distance while establishing diplomatic communications. Varix interprets this as weakness, dismissing the human response as stalling tactics from an inferior species. He orders his squadron to surround the human vessel and activates targeting systems, intending to demonstrate Valthine superiority. The Thunder's Edge does not power weapons immediately. Instead, Hamilton calmly warns Varix that aggressive posturing would be interpreted as hostile intent. He provides one final opportunity for peaceful withdrawal. Varix mistakes this restraint for fear and orders a warning shot, firing a precision plasma beam designed to disable the Thunder's Edge engines without destroying the ship. He wants to capture the humans alive for study. The Valthine plasma beam strikes the Thunder's Edge hull, but the damage is minimal. The human ship's ablative armor absorbs the energy with unsettling efficiency. Varix is confused. His weapons should have crippled the vessel. Before he can recalibrate, the Thunder's Edge returns fire. The human railgun projectiles move at velocities the Valthine sensors barely track. 3 of Varix's escort ships are struck before their shields can properly adjust. The kinetic impacts punch through energy barriers designed to deflect plasma and laser weapons. 2 ships are disabled instantly, their hulls ruptured by tungsten penetrators moving at relativistic speeds. Varix orders full combat engagement, but his tactical displays show something incomprehensible. The Thunder's Edge is not following logical engagement patterns. Where Valthine doctrine emphasizes formation integrity and coordinated fire, the human ship maneuvers erratically, using unpredictable acceleration burns and sudden vector changes. Varix's predictive algorithms fail to anticipate the Thunder's Edge movements because the human ship operates outside established tactical frameworks. The human weapons continue to devastate Varix's squadron. Missile volleys saturate Valthine point defense systems, overwhelming automated countermeasures with sheer numbers. Electronic warfare attacks blind sensors, corrupt targeting computers, and create phantom signatures that confuse fire control systems. Varix realizes with growing horror that his technologically superior fleet is being systematically dismantled by tactics he cannot counter. The humans are not fighting a civilized war of precision and protocol. They are fighting to win by any means necessary. Lieutenant Amy Brooks, the Thunder's Edge tactical officer, coordinates the assault with ruthless efficiency. She exploits every weakness in Valthine doctrine, using their own predictability against them. When Valthine ships maneuver to protect damaged vessels according to rescue protocols, Brooks targets the rescue ships, forcing the Valthine to choose between saving comrades or maintaining defensive formations. It is brutal pragmatism that the honor-bound Valthine find incomprehensible. Varix attempts to withdraw, but the Thunder's Edge pursues relentlessly. Hamilton has no intention of allowing the Valthine to escape and report human capabilities. The Thunder's Edge executes a high-risk maneuver, using a nearby asteroid field to break line of sight, and then ambushing the fleeing Valthine ships from an unexpected angle. More railgun rounds tear through hulls. A nuclear-tipped missile detonates close enough to one Valthine cruiser to fry its electronics with electromagnetic pulse. Varix's flagship, the Ascending Dawn, is the last ship remaining. He broadcasts a surrender signal, offering to discuss terms and exchange prisoners according to the Galactic Accords of Warfare. Captain Hamilton accepts the surrender, but his terms are unconditional. The Valthine crew will be treated humanely, but they will remain prisoners until Terran command decides their fate. Varix is stunned. In Valthine military tradition, defeated commanders are allowed to retain honor through ceremonial surrender with guarantees of eventual release. The humans make no such promises. Aboard the Thunder's Edge, Varix is held in comfortable but secure confinement. He has access to basic amenities and medical care for his wounded crew. However, he is also subjected to detailed interrogation. Human intelligence officers want to understand Valthine military structure, fleet deployments, and political dynamics. Varix initially refuses to cooperate, citing military honor and duty. The humans do not torture him, but they do not release him either. They simply wait, applying psychological pressure through isolation and uncertainty. During confinement, Varix observes the Thunder's Edge crew and begins to understand the fundamental differences between humans and Valthine. The human crew is diverse, drawn from multiple cultural backgrounds and belief systems. They argue, debate tactics, and sometimes openly disagree with superior officers. Yet they function with terrifying effectiveness. Varix realizes that human unpredictability is not a weakness but a strength. Where Valthine rely on rigid doctrine and predictable responses, humans adapt, improvise, and think creatively under pressure. Engineering officer Lieutenant Paul Carter explains to Varix that human technology evolved through constant warfare among their own species. Railguns were developed not because they were elegant or efficient, but because they worked when more sophisticated weapons failed. Ablative armor exists because humans learned to expect their ships to be hit. Electronic warfare capabilities were honed through centuries of cyber conflicts on Earth. Every system on the Thunder's Edge was designed with redundancy, durability, and practicality in mind. Nothing was optimized for efficiency alone. Varix struggles to comprehend this. Valthine technology is elegant, perfected through millennia of incremental improvements. Their weapons are precise because precision is civilized. Their tactics are predictable because predictability ensures minimal casualties and rapid resolution of conflicts. The idea that humans deliberately embrace chaos and inefficiency as strategic advantages is alien to Valthine thinking. Varix realizes that his people have never fought an opponent like humanity, because no other species in the known galaxy shares humanity's peculiar combination of aggression, creativity, and stubborn refusal to accept defeat. Several weeks into his captivity, Varix is brought to a secure communications chamber. Captain Hamilton informs him that the Valthine sovereignty has dispatched a diplomatic delegation to negotiate for the return of prisoners. However, the delegation is accompanied by a full battle fleet, suggesting the sovereignty is preparing for potential military action. Hamilton explains that Terran Command has authorized limited disclosure of human capabilities to avoid misunderstandings that could escalate into wider conflict. The Thunder's Edge meets the Valthine diplomatic fleet at a neutral coordinates. Admiral Kelvin of the Terran Colonial Fleet participates in the negotiations via secure transmission. He is direct and unapologetic. Humanity did not seek conflict with the Valthine, but neither will humanity submit to intimidation or accept subservient status in the galactic hierarchy. The Valthine delegates initially demand immediate release of all prisoners and reparations for destroyed ships. Admiral Kelvin refuses both demands. To demonstrate human resolve, Admiral Kelvin authorizes a tactical demonstration. 3 human destroyers engage in simulated combat exercises within sensor range of the Valthine fleet. The destroyers execute maneuvers that violate everything the Valthine understand about space combat. Ships roll, yaw, and pitch in ways that should tear apart their structural integrity. They fire weapons while accelerating at velocities that should make accurate targeting impossible. The demonstration is designed to send a message. Humanity can fight in ways the Valthine cannot predict or counter. The Valthine diplomatic delegation is shaken. High Counselor Urinth, the senior Valthine representative, attempts to salvage negotiations by appealing to logic and mutual interest. She argues that conflict between their species would be costly for both sides and proposes a non-aggression treaty with territorial boundaries. Admiral Kelvin agrees in principle, but insists on equal recognition. Humanity will not be treated as a minor power or a primitive species. Any agreement must acknowledge human sovereignty and technological parity. Varix is eventually returned to Valthine custody as part of a prisoner exchange. Before he departs, Captain Hamilton offers a final observation. He explains that humanity has been fighting itself for thousands of years, refining the art of warfare through constant evolution and adaptation. The Valthine, by contrast, have dominated the galaxy for so long that they have forgotten what it means to face an equal opponent. Hamilton warns that if the Valthine seek further conflict, they will learn exactly how dangerous humanity can be when pushed to full-scale war. Back among his own people, Varix delivers a comprehensive report to the Valthine High Command. He describes in detail the human tactics, weapons, and most importantly, their mindset. He warns that humanity represents a fundamental challenge to Valthine military doctrine. Unlike other species the Valthine have encountered, humans do not fight to defend territory or secure resources alone. They fight to win, and they are willing to accept casualties and losses that would be unthinkable to the Valthine in pursuit of victory. The Valthine High Command is divided in its response. Conservative factions argue for immediate military buildup and preparation for potential war with humanity. Progressive factions advocate for diplomatic engagement and cultural exchange to better understand human thinking. A compromise is reached. The Valthine will establish formal diplomatic relations with humanity while simultaneously initiating military reforms to develop counter-tactics for human-style warfare. Neither side fully trusts the other, but both recognize that coexistence is preferable to mutual destruction. Meanwhile, aboard the Thunder's Edge, Captain Hamilton receives new orders from Terran Command. The engagement with the Valthine has drawn attention from other galactic powers who previously dismissed humanity as insignificant. Several species are now requesting diplomatic contact, eager to assess whether humanity could be a valuable ally or a dangerous rival. Hamilton is assigned to lead a diplomatic mission to the galactic core regions, representing human interests in what will likely be complex and dangerous negotiations. Lieutenant Brooks is promoted to commander and given command of a new prototype warship, equipped with experimental weapons systems. Her success against the Valthine has earned her recognition within the Terran military, and she is tasked with training the next generation of human naval officers in the tactics that proved so effective. She emphasizes that humanity's strength lies not in superior technology, but in adaptability, creativity, and willingness to challenge conventional thinking. Lieutenant Carter is assigned to a joint technology assessment team working with Valthine scientists. Despite lingering tensions, both species recognize potential benefits in limited technological exchange. Carter finds himself respected by Valthine engineers who initially dismissed human technology as crude. They are forced to acknowledge that human engineering philosophy, emphasizing redundancy and ruggedness over elegance, has merits they never considered. The collaboration is cautious but productive, laying groundwork for future cooperation. Months pass, and a fragile peace holds between humanity and the Valthine sovereignty. Trade agreements are negotiated, embassies are established, and military exchanges are conducted under careful supervision. However, underlying tensions remain. Many Valthines still view humanity as dangerous barbarians, while many humans resent what they perceive as Valthine arrogance. Both species understand that their relationship is built on mutual deterrence rather than genuine trust. The story concludes with Varix and Hamilton meeting again, this time at a formal diplomatic reception hosted by a neutral third-party species. They speak privately, acknowledging the strange circumstances that brought them together. Varix admits that he initially underestimated humanity, assuming technological superiority would guarantee victory. Hamilton responds that humanity has made similar mistakes throughout its history, learning hard lessons about the dangers of arrogance. Both agree that their species have much to learn from each other, even if that learning comes through conflict and misunderstanding. The final scene shows the Thunder's Edge departing for a new assignment in unexplored space. Captain Hamilton stands on the bridge, reflecting on how far humanity has come from its origins on a single planet to becoming a recognized power in galactic affairs. The Thunder's Edge encounters unknown anomalies ahead, and Hamilton orders the crew to prepare for whatever challenges await. The message is clear. Humanity has proven it belongs among the stars, not through superior technology or ancient heritage, but through determination, adaptability, and refusal to accept limitations imposed by others. The galaxy will never underestimate humanity again.